Well, today I would like to introduce you to Christy Pierson, who is running for Canton Municipal Court Judge. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I want you to just tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, first of all.
Well, I am an attorney, obviously. Came into being an attorney a little later in life, a little different path than most people take. So I kind of came into law. I was working as a paralegal for a lot of local attorneys in Stark County, and decided at a very late age that I could probably do the same thing. So I went to law school at about 38 years old, graduated when I was 40, and just completely fell in love with law. My first job was at the Canton Municipal Court as a city prosecutor, assistant city prosecutor. I did that job for 2 years, and then was called by the Stark County prosecutor's office, and they asked me to come over there. So went over to the Stark County prosecutor's office in 2016 and worked as an assistant prosecutor with them, doing only the child sex abuse and physical abuse cases for Stark County, a job I absolutely loved. Loved it more than anything in the world. The only thing that could have taken me away from that job was coming back to Canton Municipal Court. And so in 2020, somebody called me from there and asked me to come over as the staff attorney for the Canton Municipal Court. And I kind of saw an opening for myself, that might lead to eventually a position that I could put myself in to run for judge. And so very soon after I came over to the Canton Municipal Court as the staff attorney, COVID hit, and the judges did appoint me to be a magistrate at that time to kind of help out with the court functions during the COVID period. So I was very fortunate to kind of fall into that role very quickly upon my return to Canton Municipal Court. So outside of that, I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I have a husband who I love, and just very active in my community. Really like to do things, community service related type of things in our Stark County community.
And so you are a magistrate now in Canton Municipal Court. Explain what a magistrate does.
That's a great question. So many people ask that. So a magistrate is not unlike a judge in the things that we are able to do. We can preside over cases in court. There's a very limited number of things we cannot do that judges can do, but primarily a magistrate is appointed position. So I was appointed by the judges to be a magistrate at our court, where judges are elected positions. So that's the primary difference between the two jobs.
And then you do preside over cases.
Yeah, I hear both criminal and civil matters within our court. So that's the criminal side is obviously the easy one to understand. The civil matters that we handle in our court are primarily eviction cases, small claims cases. Those would be the two primary civil cases that we hear. But yes, we preside over all of those cases in our court.
So talk about why you decided that you wanted to run for judge. Why did you want to be a judge?
You know, specifically in Canton Municipal Court, obviously there's court or judgeships that open up all over Stark County. I have a heart for our court. I believe in the things that we do there. I also feel like it's a court that has a little bit of a different approach to both criminal and civil cases, in that people come into our court and they want to be heard. They want to have the opportunity to feel like they've had their side of the story heard from a judge. And while that also happens in all the other courts, I feel like you can touch those people a little bit closer. You can kind of hear understand what they're trying to project to the court. You still follow the law at the end of the day. But the people that come into our court oftentimes this is their first experience in a courtroom. They're often very nervous. They're very anxious about what's going to happen. And I just felt like I had the ability to come in and really have that soft approach with people so that they didn't have that intimidating feeling when they come into the court. I want people to feel comfortable and feel like they have a chance to have their side of the story told.
And also people in North Canton or other areas, they're going to see this on the ballot because Canton Municipal Court, that's their jurisdiction.
It's a very big jurisdiction. I think that's a very common misunderstanding. A lot of people think that Canton Municipal Court judge is only going to be in the city of Canton on their ballot. We cover things as far south as Canton South. We have a lot of townships and villages that are within our court jurisdiction. We go as far north as Uniontown and Hartville. So there's a very big jurisdiction that is going to see that these judgeships on their ballots. Specifically in the primary, there'll only be one judgeship that's going to be on the ballot.
Right.
But yes, everybody that's in any of those jurisdictions are going to be able to see and vote for the judges in Canton Municipal Court.
Yeah, and just so people understand, Massillon has a jurisdiction and Alliance has one.
That's
and
correct.
City of Canton.
That's correct. And I think we have the biggest jurisdiction of the 3 municipal courts in Stark County. So it is quite encompassing, and there's quite a lot of different cities, townships, and villages that are all included within our court's jurisdiction.
So if you had a person come up to you and say, well, why should I vote for you? What would you say to them?
I think I would say because I have experience already. I've been doing the job as a magistrate for over 5 years now. I've worked and sat for each of the judges that are in our court. I've learned from each of the judges in our court. One of the very unique things for all the magistrates that currently work at Canton Municipal Court is that we have judges that have been there for 20 plus years. That's a lot of experience to be able to learn the job from. And I've been fortunate enough to have each of those judges to follow and to see how they decide cases, to see how they preside over cases. And you kind of form your own way of doing things based on all those different perspectives. Judge John Polis was a very instrumental person in my career, both as a prosecutor but also as a magistrate. I like to follow a lot of the ideals that he has set when he was a judge. Judge Mary Falvey was also a very instrumental judge. I worked very closely with her at the Canton Municipal Court. So I'm very fortunate to have had all of that learning while I've learned to become a good magistrate and jurist. So besides that, though, I think because I have the qualities that you want in a judge, I think I have the compassion and the understanding for people. And that's people of every type and kind, whether you're the plaintiff or whether you're the defendant or whether you're the victim of a case. I am here to understand and listen to all sides of the case. And I think that's a quality that you really want to have in a judge.
All right. So on May 6th, primary.
Yes.
You'll be out there getting for the votes, right?
Yes, 2 weeks from today. So it is coming down to the wire for sure.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you so much, Cam. I appreciate it.